On July 20th, 1969, the world witnessed a historic occasion, the lunar module of the Apollo 11 mission's momentous touchdown on the moon. Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, forever etched in history, achieved the remarkable feat of becoming the first humans to enter the lunar surface. Yet more than 5 decades later, doubts persist among some who question the authenticity of this extraordinary accomplishment. The gravity of the situation was highlighted by the high risk of mission failure, prompting even U.S. President Nixon to prepare an alternative speech addressing the potential loss of the astronauts' lives. Some skeptics ponder whether the mission was genuinely successful or merely a cinematic production orchestrated by the United States. The authenticity of the video showing the flag fluttering is also being questioned. The inquiry revolves around the absence of an atmosphere on the moon. How could the flag move without air? So did the mission truly fail, and is what we believe today nothing more than a cinematic portrayal? To solve the mysteries, let's dive into the story behind the Apollo 11 mission and discover what has happened. The adventure started because of a big rivalry between powerful countries, the United States and the Soviet Union. Back in the late 1950s, the Soviet Union surprised the world by launching the first ever artificial satellite called Sputnik. This event kicked off what we now know as the space race. The competition got even more intense when a Soviet cosmonaut named Yuri Gagarin circled the Earth in 1961, beating the United States to another space milestone. This tense situation led President John F. Kennedy to step up and make a bold promise on May 25, 1961. He declared that the United States would send an astronaut to the moon and safely bring them back before the decade's end. This promise began the Apollo program, a series of missions to achieve this incredible goal. So in simple terms, the landing on the moon was a big challenge between the two countries during the Cold War. The United States wanted to show that they could do something amazing in space, especially after the Soviet Union had taken the lead. This competition pushed them to dream big and led to the historic Apollo 11 mission, where humans finally set foot on the moon. But the journey to the moon was not an easy one. There were many difficulties along the way. In 1967, a truly heartbreaking event unfolded during the Apollo 1 mission. Tragically, a devastating fire erupted within the spacecraft before it could embark on its journey, resulting in the unfortunate loss of 3 astronauts. This was a huge setback, but it didn't stop NASA. After the tragic incident, NASA started doing tests without astronauts on board to ensure everything worked properly. These tests helped them understand and work around the problems and rectify them. They also continued missions with astronauts on board to practice and improve the technology and procedures needed for a safe moon landing. Even though there were challenges and losses, NASA didn't quit. They worked tirelessly to make things better and safer. The path to the moon was tough, but NASA's perseverance and determination ultimately paid off. The incredible achievement of the Apollo 11 mission to the moon was made possible by a series of carefully thought-out missions that laid the groundwork. Before the historic Apollo 11, there were crucial missions like Apollo 7, Apollo 8, Apollo 9, and Apollo 10, each playing a vital role in testing different aspects of the spacecraft. These missions were not random. They were part of a meticulous plan. Apollo 7 focused on testing the spacecraft in Earth's orbit, ensuring everything worked as it should. Apollo 8 went even further, becoming the first mission to orbit the moon and return to Earth. Apollo 9 concentrated on testing the lunar module in Earth's orbit, and Apollo 10 took it a step closer to the moon, performing a dress rehearsal for the Apollo 11 landing. The frequency and precision of these launches demonstrated NASA's unwavering commitment to meeting President Kennedy's ambitious deadline of landing a man on the moon before the end of the 1960s. The dedication and determination shown by NASA during this period were crucial in making the dream of a lunar landing a reality. Each mission built upon the lessons learned from the previous one, paving the way for the historic success of Apollo 11. On a historic day, July 16, 1969, the Apollo 11 mission embarked on a groundbreaking journey into space. Astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins were aboard the spacecraft, ready to make history. The mighty Saturn V5 rocket propelled them into the vast unknown. The spacecraft was a sophisticated combination of 3 main components: the command module named Columbia, the service module, and the lunar module, known as Eagle. These components formed the vessel that would carry the astronauts to the moon and back. Neil Armstrong, the mission commander, took manual control of the lunar module to ensure a safe landing. Navigating away from potentially dangerous terrain, Armstrong skillfully steered the spacecraft toward its destination. The technical complexities of this descent were immense, but the expertise of the astronauts and the meticulous planning by NASA prevailed. On July 20th, 1969, at 8:16 p.m., the Eagle, the lunar module, contacted the moon's surface. This achievement marked a historic milestone in human exploration. As the world breathed, Neil Armstrong delivered the now iconic words that resonate globally. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The journey to the moon was not without its share of unexpected challenges for astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Once on the lunar surface, the duo encountered a potentially mission-threatening issue. An essential switch had broken, jeopardizing their safe return to Earth. In the face of adversity, Aldrin showcased remarkable resourcefulness. Armed with little more than a ballpoint pen, he ingeniously improvised a solution to activate the switch. This quick thinking and problem solving on the moon's desolate surface were critical to the success of the Apollo 11 mission. Amidst overcoming technical glitches, the astronauts pressed on with their mission. They conducted experiments, gathered valuable lunar samples, and strategically placed instruments such as a seismometer for future scientific research. Despite unexpected challenges, the dedication to the mission's objectives highlighted the astronauts' commitment to advancing scientific knowledge and exploration. Despite overwhelming evidence confirming the authenticity of the moon landing, questions about the apparent movement of the American flag planted on the lunar surface persist among conspiracy theorists. The key to understanding this phenomenon lies in the intentional design of the flag. The American flag used during the Apollo missions featured a horizontal rod along its top edge. This design choice was not arbitrary, but a deliberate decision to ensure the flag remained visible without an atmosphere. On Earth, flags are often weighed down by gravity and influenced by the wind, but the moon lacks air and wind. Therefore, to prevent the flag from hanging flat and being difficult to see, a horizontal rod was added to keep it extended. When astronauts planted the flag on the moon, their actions inadvertently caused the flag to move. The movement resulted from the astronauts manipulating the flagpole and setting it into the lunar soil. Importantly, this apparent fluttering was not caused by wind. Instead, it resulted from the astronauts' actions and lack of air resistance. Another popular theory that emerged was that the photos that Neil Armstrong and Aldrin have taken had no stars in the background. The answer to this is simple. The moon landing took place during the day when the sunlight was hitting the moon, and the white-color spacesuit that the astronauts were wearing was reflecting too. Moreover, high-resolution cameras, unlike the ones we have today, never existed in 1969. Another theory added to the list is the inconsistency in the angles of the shadows. Many claim this to be a movie set where you have multiple sources of light and the USA was filming a fake moon landing. But in reality, sun was not only the source of light on the moon's surface was also acting as another source of light. This is why the shadows were going all over the place and it looked so bizarre. Another question raised was about Buzz Aldrin's photo taken by Neil Armstrong, showing Neil Armstrong's reflection holding no camera. Then how was it possible? It was possible because the camera was not in his hand, but mounted in his suit. And then comes another question about the photos taken during descent from the lunar module. The answer to that question was simple as well. The lunar module was installed with multiple cameras. While conspiracy theories persist, relying on scientific evidence and logical explanations is essential. The overwhelming consensus among experts and the extensive documentation of the Apollo missions support the conclusion that humans did indeed land on the moon. Debunking these theories reinforces the incredible achievement of Apollo 11 and the subsequent lunar missions, underscoring the dedication and ingenuity of those who made history by venturing beyond our planet. As we reflect on the extraordinary achievement of Apollo 11, NASA's Artemis program stands as a testament to the continued exploration of the moon and beyond. Plans to return humans to the lunar surface, including the first woman and person of color, exemplify the enduring spirit of exploration that began with Apollo 11. Far from a mere political gimmick, the moon landing remains an enduring symbol of human curiosity, innovation, and the pursuit of the unknown.